This is the Focus Shift podcast, your best listening experience for creating your best online business. We'll focus on topics that help you get discovered. So sit back, listen, take notes if you like, and get excited about growing your business.
You know that exact feeling when you've just wrapped up an incredible creative project. Like maybe you're a photographer, right? You've spent hours shooting, editing, tweaking all the colors, and you've just delivered this stunning digital gallery to a client.
Oh yeah, you're just riding that massive creative high.
Exactly. They're thrilled, you're thrilled, and then, the dust settles, and you realize you actually have to market the thing.
Right. The worst part.
Yeah, suddenly you're just sitting there staring at this blank, glowing screen, watching the cursor blink. Just blink, blink, blink.
It's awful.
It's basically mocking you, demanding that you somehow switch gears and turn this beautiful visual art you just made into like a highly optimized digital marketing machine.
Honestly, it is the quickest way to kill a creative high.
Yeah.
That jarring transition from being an artist to being a digital marketer.
Mm-hmm.
That is where so many talented professionals just hit a brick wall and freeze.
Oh, 100%. Because, we know you want to do the work you love. You want to be taking the photos, capturing those moments, being out in the field. You definitely don't want to spend your Tuesday mornings trying to decipher search engine algorithms or, figuring out what on earth to write on a blog.
Exactly.
So I was reading through this stack of spring 2026 updates and guides from the PhotoBiz Growth Hub, and they detailed this really massive shift happening right now.
Yeah, the new tools are pretty incredible.
Right. So the mission of this deep dive today is to really unpack how a simple AI tool, specifically the new PhotoBiz AI blog creator, can transform content marketing from this dreaded, time-consuming chore into an automated, highly effective growth ecosystem.
And what stands out in these updates is that this is not just about a software tool saving you like 20 minutes of typing.
Right.
It's really about how visual creatives survive in a rapidly evolving digital landscape. Because search engines today, they're incredibly demanding.
They really are.
Yeah, they require fresh, highly relevant, high-quality content all the time. And if you aren't consistently providing those signals to search engines, your business is slowly becoming invisible to new local clients.
Okay, let me stop you right there, actually. Because before we even look at the mechanics of this PhotoBiz AI tool, we need to address the elephant in the room. Why are we even still talking about blogging in 2026?
That's a very fair question.
Right, because my assumption, and honestly probably the assumption of a lot of people listening, is that blogging is just this relic from the early internet. Doesn't everyone just live on social media now?
You would think so, right.
Yeah.
But the data in our sources paints a completely different reality for local businesses.
Really?
Yeah. Leading search experts, we're talking HubSpot, Search Engine Land, Search Engine Journal, they're all constantly affirming that modern SEO still relies heavily on blog content.
Wow.
But, and this is key, the definition of a blog has completely changed.
Yeah.
We aren't talking about online diaries or, keyword stuffing anymore. We are operating in the era of EEAT.
Okay, EEAT, that's experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness, right?
Correct. Search engines have evolved quite a bit. They now prioritize content that genuinely answers real user intent with actual human expertise.
Right.
And here's the crucial part that the sources highlight. They treat a regular active blog as a massive signal of site relevance.
Yeah.
Search engines are constantly scraping these rich, localized blog posts to generate those quick snippets and FAQs you see at the very top of search results. They heavily favor that dynamic, regularly updated content over a static homepage that never changes.
I see the logic there, but that brings up a massive contradiction, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, if modern SEO algorithms are desperately looking for genuine human experience and expertise, isn't using an AI text generator like the absolute worst approach?
Oh, I see where you're going.
Yeah, because if I just have a robot churn out an article about a wedding I shot, how does Google see that as genuine human experience? It's like trying to rank a static homepage by putting up a faded billboard from 2010. It just doesn't feel authentic.
Well, that is the core tension here. And what's fascinating is how the PhotoBiz AI system is actually designed to bridge that exact gap.
Okay, explain that.
So this specific tool is not inventing fake experience out of thin air just to game the system. It takes your real work, your actual photography, the real-world locations you travel to, your genuine artistic choices, and it simply provides the structural formatting.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you are still the creator. The AI is essentially functioning as a translator.
A translator.
Right? Takes your visual, real-world experience and translates it into the technical, text-based language that search engine crawlers actually understand. So every new index page you create with it acts as a net.
Okay, wait. You mentioned an index page acting as a net. Let's break that down just for the listener who isn't, a web developer. When you say an index page, you just mean a specific page on your website that Google has discovered and saved in its database, right?
Yes, exactly. When Google indexes a page, it is essentially filing it away so it can present it to users later when they search for something relevant.
Got it.
So every time you publish a new blog post, you are giving Google a new page to index. You are casting a wider net to catch highly specific client queries.
Okay, so what kind of queries are we talking about here? Give me an example of what that net is actually catching.
Well, we're talking about highly localized, intent-driven searches. These are often called long-tail queries.
Long tail?
Yeah. A broad query is something like photographer. You are never going to rank for that.
Yeah, no way.
But a long-tail query is a very specific, longer phrase. Things like what to wear for fall mini sessions or best senior session locations near me.
Oh, okay. So very specific things a local client would type in.
Precisely. A static homepage that hasn't been updated since 2023 isn't going to rank for all those specific conversational searches. But a structured blog post targeting that exact phrase, that absolutely will.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. The AI just removes the friction of structuring that long tail expertise, but that immediately creates a new problem for the listener.
Which is?
Well, if I'm convinced that SEO matters, and I know I need these index pages to catch local searches, what on earth am I supposed to write about every single week?
Ah, yes.
Because my default instinct, and I think the default for most visual artists, is to just throw up 20 of my favorite pictures from yesterday's session and type, look at this cute family I photographed.
Right, which is exactly what the PhotoBiz guides call the random posting trap.
The random posting trap.
Yeah, it is high effort for incredibly low reward. You might get a few likes from the client's family, but it does absolutely nothing for your SEO or your long-term growth.
That is painfully true.
So to escape this, the sources outline a shift from those random updates to a structured approach using 4 distinct content pillars.
Okay, 4 pillars.
Yes. This framework is what actually turns a blog from a digital scrapbook into a real client-generating system.
Well, let's explore these 4 pillars then, because I really want to understand the psychology behind why a client actually cares about this. What is pillar number 1?
Pillar 1 is search-based content.
Okay.
The primary goal here is simply to get found. These are posts designed specifically to capture active Google searches in your specific geographic area.
So like a location guide.
Exactly. A
Yep.
prime example from the guides is a post titled, Top 5 Family Photo Locations in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay, so this is pure top-of-the-funnel marketing. You are trying to grab the attention of someone who, say, just moved to Charlotte, they want family photos, but they literally don't even know any photographers yet. They are just searching for locations.
Precisely. You are answering their geographical query, and in doing so, you naturally introduce them to your brand.
Yeah.
And then once they're on your site, we move to pillar 2, educational content. The goal here shifts from getting found to building trust.
Building trust. How does a blog post build trust, practically speaking?
By anticipating and solving their problems before they even hire you. You are basically answering the questions clients are silently stressing over.
Like what?
Well, the text uses the example of a post titled, What to Wear for Your Family Photo Session.
Oh, wow. That is brilliant.
It works so well.
Because as a client, figuring out wardrobe for a family of 4 is usually the most stressful part of booking a session. If I land on your site and you have a beautifully formatted guide telling me exactly how to coordinate colors without looking overly matching, my anxiety immediately drops.
Exactly.
You've solved a major problem for me for free. I suddenly trust your expertise.
And that psychological shift is everything. You've lowered their hesitation. Once they trust your expertise, pillar 3 comes in to create an emotional connection.
Okay, what's pillar 3?
This is portfolio and story content.
Oh, is this where we finally get to post the cute family I photographed pictures?
Yes, but with intention.
Yeah.
You aren't just posting a data dump of images. You are telling the story behind the session, highlighting the emotion.
Give me an example.
So an example would be a golden hour maternity session at the lake. You are helping the prospective client envision themselves in your work. You want them to look at that post and think, I want my memories captured exactly like that.
Right. Okay, so we have them on the site with Pillar 1, we built trust with Pillar 2, we created an emotional hook with Pillar 3. I'm assuming Pillar 4 is how we actually get paid.
You nailed it. Pillar 4 is authority and conversion, driving action.
Driving action.
Yeah. This is the content that guides people toward actually taking out their credit card and booking a session. The example provided in the guides is, when should you book your fall family photos?
So it creates urgency.
Right.
It tells them exactly what to do next, rather than just leaving them to aimlessly scroll through pretty pictures.
Exactly. It's a clear call to action.
You know, sitting here looking at this blueprint, I feel a huge wave of relief on behalf of the listener. I mean, finally, a literal blueprint. You don't have to sit there on a random Tuesday morning trying to be a marketing genius.
No, not at all.
So what does this all mean for the listener when they actually sit down to post? You just rotate through the buckets, right? Week 1, search. Week 2, education. Week 3, story. Week 4, conversion.
Yes. If we connect this to the bigger picture, this completely changes the math of content creation.
How so?
Well, the sources are very clear on frequency. They suggest a minimum of 2 posts a month. The ideal is 4, so 1 per week, perfectly cycling through all 4 pillars like you just said.
Right.
And if a business is hyper-focused on aggressive growth, they recommend 6 to 8 posts a month. But the golden rule emphasized in all the guides is that consistency with structure always beats high volume without direction.
Right, because if you just rapidly post 40 random portfolio updates, you have 0 educational content. You're completely missing the people actively searching for what to wear, and you're missing the people who need a direct nudge to actually book.
Yes. When these 4 pillars work together, they are building a complete, holistic client journey every single month. Attract, educate, connect, convert. Just on a loop.
Okay, all right. The strategy makes total sense. The why is modern SEO. The what is the 4 pillars. But we really have to tackle the how.
The execution.
Exactly. How do you actually execute 6 to 8 structurally perfect blog posts a month without it becoming a full-time job? Most creative professionals are already working late into the night just editing photos. This brings us to the actual mechanics of the PhotoBiz AI blog creator.
And the mechanics are designed entirely around a multiplier effect.
Oh.
The workflow is built directly into where the photographer is already spending their time.
Okay, walk me through it.
So you go into your PhotoBiz account, you navigate to the client galleries section, and you open an event. Let's say it's a wedding you just finished delivering to a couple.
Right.
In the upper right corner of that gallery, you click a button that says Share, and from the drop-down, you just select Create Blog Post.
Wait, so the system automatically pulls from the gallery you just finished?
Instantly. It pulls your visual foundation. You can choose to feature just the cover image or a selection of the first 15 images from the gallery.
Okay, I love this. Here's where it gets really interesting, and I want to use an analogy here to really picture what's happening.
Let's hear it.
It is like having an incredibly fast sous chef in a high-end restaurant kitchen. You, the listener, are the executive chef. You are providing the premium, locally sourced, hard-won ingredients, your stunning photographs.
I like that.
And you click this button, and the AI sous chef instantly chops all the vegetables, preps the station, and sets the table, because it handles all the metadata, the formatting, the tags in literal seconds.
That is an incredibly accurate way to look at it, especially when you mention metadata.
Yeah, let's actually define metadata for a second, because that is the hidden monster of blogging that no one ever talks about.
It really is.
Metadata is essentially the hidden text, like the alt tags descriptions that tell Google what an image actually is, right? Because Google can't see a picture of a bride laughing. It just reads the text attached to the picture.
Exactly. And manually writing descriptive alt text for 15 different images is tedious, mind-numbing work.
It's the worst.
Most creators just skip it entirely, which completely destroys their SEO. But the AI handles all of that structural, behind-the-scenes formatting instantly.
That's amazing.
And furthermore, if you need help with the actual written copy, there is an Ask PhotoBiz AI feature built right inside the editor.
Wait, really? How specific can you get with that prompter? No guesswork.
Very specific. No guesswork at all. You can prompt it for highly localized topics to fit those 4 pillars we just discussed.
Like what?
You can tell it, write a post about the top wedding photo destinations in Asheville this spring. And the AI will generate SEO-friendly introductions, location descriptions, and seamlessly integrate those local keywords.
And it structures it properly. Because I know search engines are super obsessed with like H1 and H2 headings and all that formatting.
Yes, it formats the headings, subheadings, and bullet points exactly how search algorithms prefer to digest information. It eliminates the technical guesswork of SEO.
Wow.
From there, the executive chef, which is you, is still in control. You can publish it immediately if it hits the mark, or you can save it as a draft to tweak the tone and inject a bit more of your personal voice.
Right.
It really solves the single biggest bottleneck for creative professionals, the friction of starting. When you eliminate the blank page, you turn blogging from a dreaded to-do list item into a reliable growth engine.
Because you aren't starting from zero. You're starting from like 80% done. It completely changes the psychological barrier to entry.
Absolutely.
But let's look at the next step in this ecosystem outlined in the spring 2026 updates. You have created this beautiful SEO-optimized blog directly from your client gallery. It is out there on Google, working for you. But as we know, SEO is a long game. It takes time for pages to rank. What if people aren't actively searching for your services today? We really need to talk about reaching your past clients.
This is a critical pivot in the overarching marketing strategy, because many creatives rely entirely on social media to reach their existing audience.
Oh, yeah.
And the sources argue that this is incredibly risky. Social media algorithms aggressively limit your reach. They bury your posts.
They really do.
You have absolutely zero control over what percentage of your followers actually sees your work on any given day. Email marketing, on the other hand, gives you direct, permission-based access to your client list.
Which brings us to another major feature update. With one single click from that same Share tab, you can instantly transform the blog post you just published into a ready-to-send email campaign.
It's seamless.
The AI polishes the messaging, so if you are announcing those fall mini sessions or a new product offering, you don't have to rewrite a single thing. It reformats the blog content perfectly for an email newsletter layout.
It is the ultimate expression of working smarter. You create the core content once from the gallery, and the AI helps you distribute it across multiple channels without you having to double your workload.
Okay, but let me play devil's advocate here. Looking at it from the perspective of the business owner. If I turn every blog post into an email, aren't I going to totally annoy my past clients?
That's a common worry.
Right. If I am sending out a newsletter every time I post to the blog, am I risking a massive wave of unsubscribes because I'm just hitting their inbox too much? Visual artists are generally terrified of being perceived as pushy or salesy. Are we just contributing to their inbox fatigue?
Well, this raises an important question, and it brings up the psychology of the long-term client.
Okay.
The reality is most of your clients are not ready to book you immediately. They might only need a family photographer once a year, or a commercial branding photographer maybe once every 2 years.
Sure.
The danger isn't that you will annoy them. The real danger is that if you disappear from their radar in between those booking windows, they will simply forget about you.
Out of sight, out of mind. They will just hire whoever pops up on their feed next.
Exactly. Regular touch points are vital. A beautifully formatted email sharing a recent stunning session or sending them that educational guide on what to wear, it reminds them that you are active, you are growing, and you are deeply invested in your craft.
Right.
You aren't aggressively demanding they book you every week. You are providing value and staying top of mind.
So the email isn't a hard pitch. It is an extension of the gallery. It's saying, hey, look at this beautiful thing I created.
Yes. Small, consistent touch points build deep trust over time. When that client finally is ready to book again, or, when a friend asks them for a recommendation, you're the only name they think of.
That makes total sense.
Businesses that stop communicating out of fear of being annoying often just stop growing altogether.
Wow, that reframes it completely. It is not spam, it is nurturing a relationship. So as we bring this entire deep dive together, the mission here was to show how a disjointed, frustrating marketing chore can become a fully integrated ecosystem. And looking at this PhotoBiz workflow, it's pretty incredible how seamless it is. Create once, market everywhere.
That is the defining mantra of this new era.
Your stunning photos become client galleries. That's the baseline. With one click, those galleries become structured. SEO-optimized blogs built around active search intent utilizing those 4 pillars.
Right.
And then with another click, those blogs are repurposed into instant polished email campaigns to nurture your past clients. All of it is fueled by an AI that was designed specifically for visual creatives to take the heavy technical lifting off their plates.
It really challenges you to deeply analyze your own workflow right now.
Yeah.
Where are you currently doing double the work for half the result?
Yeah.
Where are you manually copying and pasting text, fighting with metadata? Or worse, just avoiding the marketing altogether because the friction of the blank page is simply too high?
Exactly. Stop fighting the blank page. Let the tools do the structural work. Let the AI act as your sous chef so you can get back behind the camera and be the executive chef. But before we go, I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over. Something we haven't explicitly mentioned yet, but that this entire deep dive naturally points toward.
Well, let's hear it.
If we are truly entering an era where AI is perfectly handling the structural side of a digital marketing ecosystem if the software is writing the SEO metadata, perfectly structuring the copy for Google, crafting the email newsletters, and basically leveling the digital playing field for everyone.
Yeah.
Does that mean the only true differentiator left for a creative business is the actual offline human experience you deliver when you are face-to-face with a client?
Oh, wow. That is a profound question. If the digital representation of a business is perfected by artificial intelligence, then the genuine human connection you provide in the real world becomes your ultimate premium product.
Just something to think about the next time you find yourself staring at a blank screen. The blinking cursor doesn't have to be your enemy anymore. It might just be time to let the AI build the digital nets so you can focus entirely on the art.
The Focus Shift podcast is presented by PhotoBiz, the best website solution for photographers. Whether you're launching your site or scaling your online business, PhotoBiz has your back. To get started for free, visit photobiz.com today.